Well, hello today. How's everybody out there today? You know, the older I get, the more I think about God. You know, everybody says, well, Isaiah, the prophets, you think about all the people that talk about God and all these people that say they're prophets. If God wants you to do something, you'll know. Because He'll put things in your path for you to know. Being a real Christian doesn't mean that it's ever going to be easy or fair. But he says, well, when you're broke and you don't have anything, I think that's when people are at their strongest, because it makes them have to do more things. Makes you have to be more brave and considerate of other people. You see, everybody's got a breaking point. Something that breaks everybody on this planet. Even me. But how do we learn? By the examples that we set for everyone. You see, everybody says, well, Jesus was the example. Well, all the Bible stories are examples. And they're great. They motivate you, they make you think. They're living stories because they live about what God has told everyone to do. When you look at Donald Trump, I think he's there, I mean, I know that he's a Christian. It's not about how much money a person has. You can have all the money in the world and not have happiness. Not know who you are, not know what you want. And when you're going to be that person, then be that person with God. See, all the lonely days that I've seen people, I remember them. All the time. I remember all my sins, too. I remember the things I did right or wrong, and I gotta live with that. I think every person does. I think love is the ultimate motivation, though. We should all be about love and want to show love towards others. But as we're learning things, we learn that people just don't have the heart to do what's right. They'll tell you that this is that, or somebody always tries to bullshit you. Tries to make believe that they know the answer when they don't. I don't know the answers. But I know who does. I know the one that made me. If you're going to be about Jesus, then, you don't need a church to tell you that. Or a pastor to tell you that. But you do need people that are around you that are good and honest and sincere with their beliefs. And real Christian people, they don't have to brag about, hey, I'm a Christian. Because you know them by what they do. By what they stand out and what they stand for. See, every minister in the world will tell you, well, it's about this, it's about that. If you're going to align yourself with the Lord, you have nothing to worry about. I know He's in control of everything in my life. The thing that makes me sad is death. Kids killing kids. People not taking responsibility and saying, hey, where's my kid tonight? Where's this and where's that? Hey, how do we change this? Kids are different than us because they're innocent. But they go around and they see what other people do, so they think they can do that. They think everything's like a Hollywood movie. Bang, and someone dies and they get to live again. No, it doesn't work like that. Anybody that's ever been around firearms know that there's an education, there's schoolings behind that, there's thoughts behind that. But it takes something to make the firearm work. The firearm doesn't work just all by itself. The firearm's not evil. It takes years and years of your life to master anything. Years. If you want to be good at anything, you have to work at it. You know, when the kids go to school, they're going to school to get a grade. They're going into school to prove to themselves that they can graduate and do something with themselves. But as teachers, if they don't teach right, the kids don't learn right. Then we're all screwed up because they got teachers they don't like or teachers that they hate. But teachers have to be hard and they have to yet be fair. I think it's one of the hardest jobs besides being a parent. Love. There's an interesting subject. You see all these people in the world wanting love and saying, I need love and love this and love that. Well, before you can love somebody, shouldn't you love yourself enough to figure it out? To be honest with yourself? You know what you really want and what you don't want? Because everything takes you. What you believe. See, God, He gives you everything. It's up to you to use what you believe in. Everybody says, well, everything comes from the Lord. Every other religion says, well, we shouldn't have free will, and we do. Free choice. I'm not telling us that we can't be mad or that we have to kill people or that we have to hate anybody. Not me. Because I know who does my fighting for me. I've seen too many people die over something stupid. You go down the street and some moron is out there with a gun showing it off. Look at me, look how cool I am. And I just shake my head. Like, man, why? And I know the reason why now. I'm older. They want to be a big show-off. They want to prove something. They want to talk all big and bad and be something that they're not. It's kind of like the little guy who goes and picks a fight with a real tough guy. You know what a real tough guy is? The guy that doesn't say much. The guy that's real quiet, stays to himself. Or the guy that's real scared. And they fall in 4 categories. 1, 2, 3, 4. Of what a tough guy is. A tough guy could be somebody real quiet, mellow, or he could be kind of loud sometimes. But a tough guy is always willing to fight and likes to fight. Them are tough people. I met a lot of them over the years that were super tough. Hey, I'll fight. Hey, I like fighting. Because they don't care about the consequences. And that's what's wrong with everybody. Everybody thinks there's no consequences when I do something stupid. Well, there always is. But you got to think and plan out what you're going to do. Because it's on you. Ain't on anybody else. So many times I've told people don't do that. But see, when other people, and I say don't do that, it's because they don't want to play with my life or play with me or hurt me or harm me or do something to me. And people are like that. You think it's funny. Hee, I did something. You see, if you have a firearm without training, it's worthless. Because you don't know how to use it. You don't know what the responsibilities are of using it. And Washington's doing it right. I have to give Washington credit. I think everybody should go to a firearms course before they own a firearm. Everybody should understand that this thing, that once you put it in your hands and you point it at somebody, it means that you're ready to kill somebody or they're ready to kill you. I am tired of the gangbangers. I'm tired of people running around, I'm tough. You know where half the tough people that you really see them, they either wind up 6 feet under or in the prison somewhere. And then they meet people, all they do is want to fight all day and be big, tough guys. But our prisons need to be reformed. You know what I've done with all them big, tough guys? We'd have broke all of them. They wouldn't have no time to think about hurting or harming anybody ever again because they'd be too busy standing. You make a person stand for 10 hours, can't move, just stand there. In foreign prisons, they don't have to worry about rape and all that shit because if they do anything like that, they're executed. Here in America, we got violence. Here in other countries, they got violence, so it's no big thing, right? But what happens when people are innocent and get caught up in the justice system? It does happen all the time. This is why I'm really scared of people with firearms, because they don't understand the law. They say, well, we have a right to self-defense. Well, what constitutes self-defense? By the time somebody pulls a gun, you pull a gun, it's over. You're better to run away and live to fight another day. And people can't let shit go. They gotta feel like they're big with a gun. Can a person, real men that are tough are not big with guns. They don't have to be big with a gun. Because they're tough and they know how to fight with their bare hands and they know how to hurt people. There are people that either hurt themselves or hurt others. But that means that they've had training and extensive knowledge of what to do, what not to do, and how to do it. There's scumbags everywhere and you think, well, it's okay to act like a scumbag. Really? What would the Lord do? You know why people hurt people? It's because they're desperate. Because they're scared. Or because they have a mental issue. And how do you help everybody, man? You can't. I've seen more people die in a week than most people see die in their whole life. Because people want to say, I'm brave, and you know what brave gets you? Nowhere. You know what quiet gets you? Hey man, don't say anything, just say, and go your way. They go their way and just let it go. See, what needs to happen is these gangbangers need to be publicly executed. You want the gang life? We beat you half to death in front of all the people. Big examples of what you're not going to do. And we let the people decide your punishment. I know one thing is if somebody killed my family, there's no forgiveness for that. There's no prison that they can run and hide to because I will find a way to do what I have to do as a person. Court systems don't care whether this person did this or who did that. The families do. But yeah, we can't conceal a firearm to save our life because we got to carry a firearm out in the open and tell everybody, hey, we're armed, and get everybody to look at us and scare the shit out of fucking people because people are scared of armed people. Why? Because they think that person's mental, or they think that person has a condition, or they think firearms are bad. They didn't grow up with them. Firearm's just a tool. It's still horrible to take life, though. Has the potential to save life, too. Make a lot of non-lethal stuff that is very good. But you're living up there in California land, or you're living in New York, Chicago, LA, Detroit. And people like to brag about how great they are at hurting people. It's about loving on people, man. everybody could just stop doing this stupid shit for a little while, we could get some problems solved. Everyone in this country goes through a class, a course, before they get a firearm. A federal firearms license is needed then. Then you're allowed to have anything you want. But after you go through them courses, you were told you have rights, and you will be told what the law kind of is in your favor of your rights, and don't violate them rights. Any moron that goes around pointing a gun at somebody just because they want to is a moron. But the laws even don't care about the law. What I mean by that is when the sheriff's department can go across somebody's place to the right to privacy and say, I could just do whatever the hell I want. Because I'm a county commissioner or I'm a sheriff's department person and I don't have a warrant. And they're not being held accountable for that? Or they do illegal search and seizures and say it was probable cause. It was probable cause. See, they make up all kinds of illegal bullshit just to tell you, hey, I was doing something. Their job isn't easy. Okay, I get that. But they shouldn't have to lie about what they do. Sure, they may not like the person. The person's minding his own business and ain't broke no laws. Why the hell do they pull him into court? And I've seen it happen time and time again. But you know what it is? Is there's no accountability for our police officers. So they say, do we really need police like that? No, we need police that are reformed. That say, okay, we're going to talk to the people. And I'm going to get a witness to what actually happened. And we're going to try to stop crime before it deter it. And how do you deter somebody? By talking to them. Hey, how are you today, sir? Hey, you know, what's going on in our neighborhood today? Hey, you know, and be polite. Until there's a time where you know, you have to do a job because you know that this person is out there doing evil. You know this person is wrong. Now we come down to bail agents. Bail agents don't feel like they should have to obey the Constitution. They had me so goddamn mad I couldn't see straight. They can say, I can just go in your house because I'm a bail agent, because you're on my bond or on my bail. I can hurt your family, I can threaten your kids, I can do anything I want. And they got a guy out there doing that, and he shows his face every time he gets on there, and he's doing stupid shit. Instead of saying, hey, okay, we know where this guy's at, and instead of just saying, we're not going to threaten anybody, we're going to have the police come up with us, and they'll help us. Being a bail bondsman, they should be getting a special other license where they're also a police officer. They should get police officer training, and they should have to go through police officer courses where they understand what to do, what not to do. True, they're all scared because the guy did something wrong. Okay, so he ran on bail. He knows he's looking at a life sentence, so he runs and he wastes the bail's money, and they don't want to lose their money. And that's all it is they don't want to lose their money. They put their money up to get you out of jail, and they want their percentage, and once they've got that, as long as you go to court, they're all good. But people make mistakes, and people can have problems, and it could be, you know, you have a life, and you don't want to think about having to go to court, and having to face the courts and have to hear all this shit in court, or have to hear this and have to hear that. And you know what? Sometimes the courts drag shit on for years too, purposely. We are in trouble with a lot of things in our country. Love is the answer to all things, though. You see, I think when we lose people, we lose a part of ourselves forever. We don't ever get them people back. We don't ever get to go back and say, hey, I love you. Once they're dead and gone, that's it. What's wrong with spending a little time with the people when they're alive? Reminding us that we love you. And that we're just going to be good people first. We're not going to be wanting to be around you because you got older and, oh, you got money or they want something from you. If you don't want to be around me for who I am, then get the hell away from me. That's anybody. That's what's wrong with people's kids nowadays. They think, well, my grandma and grandpa will leave me millions of dollars, or somebody's going to love me and do this and do that. Wait a minute here. What does anybody owe you? I think you owe yourself to make yourself do right for yourself. There's kind of an old saying. With many, many things is this, is hard work always pays off. Effort always pays off. And if you want it, you got to work at it twice as hard as the next person. Sometimes it's not even about how hard you work. It's why you do the work that you do. If you don't enjoy it, then don't do it. Don't do a job that you're going to hate. Go find something that you can love to do, that inspires you every day. Every day women out here say, well, they want a good man, and they say, oh, I love you, and I've heard all that bullshit before. If you really want to love somebody, then love them. Don't play games. And that's what's wrong with people. They don't realize when they got a good thing when it's there, and then when it's gone, they say, oh my God. We only live once. And I see so many women say, hey, I'd like to date a good man. And they have issues because they've been spoiled, or pampered, or never had to do things for themselves, or don't even know who the hell themselves are, and they expect everybody to take care of them. Yeah, they need to take care of themselves as well, and you got to be able to take care of you and the person that you're with. It goes on both sides of responsibility. But when you lose everything because it's gone, you never forgive yourself. You never say, hey man, I missed that person today, I'm not going to miss him tomorrow. You're going to miss him forever. Because that's love. Because you always remember the people that you love. The memories that you make that are great. We as Christians, we could all be gone tomorrow. Something could happen, and a virus, a bomb, anything. But what do you want to be remembered for? You know, Donald Trump, you're out there, you're doing your thing. I'm very proud of you. See, this Social Security thing really kind of irks me because people can't live on that. It was never meant to be lived on. It's meant to just keep you poor and keep you barely surviving. But if you give people a little bit of hope that they could live on it for a little while, because they worked their whole lives for it, and give them people a little extra money, and give the people that are on it a little extra money, the whole country changes because people believe that, hey, my life isn't so bad. I can have a little bit of a life. You know, Donald Trump, I like you. But I also feel sorry for you. As a Christian person, you know, when you're going to do what God tells you to do, that's great. It really is. But our time and our country, it's got to be most important. People see you and they wonder, what are you going to do? What are you all about? And they're judging you and they don't even know you. And that's the worst thing, is to judge anybody. In my book. Because I'm not their juror, I'm not their executioner, I'm not their God. Yet we do it every day. We see somebody see something and we judge and we judge and we judge and why don't we look at ourselves before we start judging others? I've judged a lot of people and I'm guilty of that. But I don't want to ever be too prideful where I think I'm better than what the Lord made me. That's what's wrong with people. They think, well, I've been forgiven by Jesus, so I can keep doing this. No, you gotta stop. It's called repent. It's called Jesus gave you something, you gotta do something in return. But He gives you everything you need and more, and plus, and plus, and plus. But why do people have to keep killing people? Because they do evil. And they like it. What it would take is just one time one of these cities say, hey, we're not putting up with this shit no more. You interfere in an investigation of an arrest of an illegal, guess what? We're taking you out of your home and we're locking your ass up too. What does it take for people to learn? To be humble at heart. I don't think you have to be the toughest guy in the world. But you do have to have something that's important to say to the people that they understand. People that have done things now say, wow, that's different, I like this, I like that, and they're starting to find out who they really are. Once you start to find out who you are, life is good. But there's dangers everywhere. Everybody talks about things that they don't understand or don't know. AI is the next big thing in the future. Because it's going to control everything. And he who can control AI ain't just wealthy, controls the world. It's a race for everything. Mad dash of people here, mad dash of people there, and before you know it, your life's over. But we have ways to make life better or worse. How long do you think we get to live? The average human being now. A lot of people don't make it to 70, 71, 61, 62. We get to live to be older, maybe for a short while. But people used to live for a long time. People used to have a reason to want to live for a long time. People used to have a reason to show love. Because God shows you all things, man. Everybody says, well, I love Jesus. Well, you can go to church and say that all day long. But if your actions and your life doesn't dictate that you really love Jesus and sit down and think about yourself, then you don't. Churches can't tell you who you are. You got to know who you are. Everybody says, oh, I'm a prophet, I'm this and I'm that, and I got a pathetic word. That's craziness. God will let you know when the time is right. He'll send people in your life to be there when you need them. Everything happens for a reason. And He's looking down at all of us, and sometimes He just, you don't think He's there, but He's there. I know He's been there with me. See, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm the bravest guy in the world, oh, I'm the toughest guy in the world, or I'm not none of that. I can be what I have to be to survive. I'm just a survivor. You know what real is when people really look at you and they say, well, what's this person all about? When I ask everybody, what are they really all about? Part of me always feels sadness because I don't always understand. I'm not to judge them, I'm just to love them for who they are. They're going to be in my life. They're in my life for a reason. The reason is that we're here to fight for the things that we believe in. As a Christian, that's how we're supposed to be. You did something wrong, we're not going to say, hey, you did something against God. We're going to say that you did something wrong. And if you're stealing, you're stealing. If you're lying, you're lying. If you're coveting, you're coveting. If you're committing adultery, you're an adulterer. If you're telling lies against the gospel, that's what you've done. Everybody has got sin somewhere that they've fallen short of the glory of God. God lets us make our own mistakes so that we learn. He also gives us free will, but He gets to choose in the end, not us. We don't get a choice. It's either we obey and want to love Him, or we don't. All these ministers will tell you, oh, you need Jesus, and you know what? 90% of them, they'll read the Bible, and they're big connoisseurs of the Bible. That's great. The other half of them, when you go into a church, what's it supposed to be about? What are the people about? They never just come out and say, hey, I want to just talk to everybody. I'll just take and pull a random person out and talk to him. Talk to me about what's wrong in your life. What can the Lord fix? See, when we start really leaning on the Lord, that's when everybody says we become strong, and it's true. That's why to all the homeless people in this country, we've been through so much, through so many generations. From mass starvations to mass killings to mass this, mass that. We as human beings are still here. We are sad people, though, in America. Donald Trump is fulfilling Bible prophecy. But here's the whole thing. Peace is more important to me than anything else, because I want to show love. I want people to be about love. People know it. To change the nation, that means you got to change the way people think. And to do that means that we got to win. And to win means that we got to stop doing some of the foolish shit that we're doing. Such as these rich-ass politicians that have been sitting up there forever. And if nobody's doing nothing for us, I want to know, I want once a week reports from every politician. Hey, what have you done in your state? And there should be once a month, hey, I've done this for my state. Hey, I've done that for my state. Hey, I'm fighting for this in our state. That way all the state senators are held accountable. What have you done for anyone other than your constituents? Your state, the people thereof. What are you doing for me? Greg Gianforte got on TV and he says, hey, I'm doing this, and I'm the governor. What about Tim Sheeny, our state senator? Is he ending housing issues right now? Is he saying, hey, we got a problem and we're going to put tiny homes in? Hey, we're going to start expanding things. Hey, we're going to bring jobs in. Hey, we're going to do something. You know how many companies could come to Montana right now, tomorrow, and say, hey, let's set up shop? But you know why they won't? Because we got greedy ass people. They all got their hands out. Well, we want this permit, we want that permit, we want this city permit, we want to, know what this is going to cost, what this is going to do to the environment, instead of saying, okay, we'll let you come here. We'll give you a shot. Well, and they should be wrote off as tax-free wherever they want to move to. Any big corporation moves into the state of Montana, tax-free. Any state. Move from another state, okay, you get it tax-free for 2 years. We'll give you a shot, but we want you to give us a shot. Give us decent hours, decent wages, a decent living wage. See, we have the right to contract, we the people. What? What the hell does that mean? That means that we have the right to demand better for ourselves. If you know what you're worth, then stand up and say what you're worth. The right to contract guarantees you that you have the right to say, hey, I want to be here for at least a year. But companies say, oh, that's with or without cause, or would they try to make up all this other bullshit so they don't have to pay people wages, so they don't have to pay people's retirements. And that's what they do all the time. Oh, you're close to retirement? We'll just find a reason to fire you, or we'll find some way to disqualify you, or we'll find some way that we don't like you no more. Oh, you just made 40 years with our company? Hey, we don't want to pay your wages. It's not them that's paying, it's everybody that's paying into this thing. But we need working class people. I can't hardly ever been able to hold a job because of my anger issues, because I'm so pissed off all the time when people screw around and they think it's funny. Time to go out and... Because they've never had to be responsible for anything. They do childish shit. And then everybody says, well, let's just fire them and get somebody in here who wants to do the job. Well, you know what? It's better off to keep training and keep getting them counseling when they do that shit. And they should be doing this in every high school. Hey, you want to work? Okay, we're going to get you counselors. They're going to talk about what work is, what is expected. Hey, if you work in our school system, we're going to even pay you like it's a real job. But you're going to have to earn it. You're going to have to prove to us that you want to be responsible. Because nobody likes irresponsible fucking people. Nobody. Not a corporation one. They don't want them people around because they're dumb. They feel like they're just wasting their money and their time. And they're not growing as a company. You want to grow as a company, then you got to start thinking, how do I make my employees better? If one employee has a problem, that means all the employees have a problem. And they should sit down and reward all the employees every once in a while with, hey, we're going to have a rewards day for all the employees that have been here over whatever companies for whatever years. Show them that you care about them. The more you care about somebody, the harder they're willing to work for you. The less you care, the less you say, and you don't want to give chances, the less people want to work for you. But you've got to have the right to contract. Hey, I don't want to be paid $9 an hour. I want to be paid $11 or $12 or $13 an hour. Well, hey, I don't really want to afford that. Okay, well, let's meet in the middle somewhere. Because everything has a certain amount of responsibility. The measure of a man is how much responsibility he's going to take on in his lifetime. And that's it. Donald Trump, you've done an amazing job. You know, I look at things now and I look at them differently because I look at the World Wrestling Entertainment Federation. It was entertainment. It was so great and glorious in the days of when it was young. And it's still young. But there's things that we can learn from all these people is that, you know, relationships. People should be kind of be teachers of what's really important. Got to remember that love never dies. And that when you love something, you do something to make it better. Because love does. And then the opposite of love is fear. Fear of this and fear of that, and I hope and I hate. When you walk in the knowing of the Lord, you have nothing to worry about. All these people that say, I'm not married, I don't have a husband. Well, you know, there's plenty of good men out here. Some of us men are burnt out on you women. Burnt out on your whining and your crying and thinking everybody has to take care of you. A lot of us don't want to do that. Well, I don't want to have a woman take care of me. I want to be on an equal footing with a woman. Equal means I do my share, she does her share. We work together to make a life. But what's the most important? It ain't saying I love you, honey, every day. It isn't saying, hey, I want to be with you every single day. That doesn't make a life. Being able to be trusted with everything that you have, and you have to trust her with everything you have. And to trust one another. The reason people start to have so many trust issues is because so many people lie. People know that people lie, so that they expect that the person that they're going to be with is going to lie. Instead of just saying, hey, I screwed up. Hey, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. And then everybody says, well, cheater, cheater, cheater. Wait a minute. Shouldn't you know what you want before you ever get married? Think about it. Because life's too short. Goes by way too fast. Before you know it, one day you're 20s, then you're in your 40s, then you're getting up there and you're like, well, what have I done? Where's time going? Our military's different, our army's different, our marines are different. All the branches of service are all different. But they're all got the same kind of schooling. They're all part of that same engineering kind of idea that if you fuck with one of us military people, you're fucking with all of us. It's the way it should be. As we get older, we see things differently. How many people have to die before somebody says, man, I don't want to die for this bullshit no more? People in Ukraine have got to be getting tired of seeing that many people die. Half their population has been wiped out. It didn't have to be that way. Putin didn't have to be that way. Zelensky didn't have to be that way. It takes two people to have a war go on. It's all about money. Oil. Control this, control that. And then when you do say stuff, everybody wants to say, silence that fool. Silence him because he's going to wake people up and they're going to see what he's talking about is right. That's why they used to torture people back in the medieval days, or they used to have gladiator games, something to distract from what the real problems were. And what are the real problems? Is homelessness a problem? Yes. What are some of the big problems? Is healthcare a problem? Hell yes. Do we have problems all the time and we're not addressing them? Because we'd rather look away at something that it's ugly? Sylvester Stallone, you're one of my heroes in one way. In another way, I don't know you. So I can't judge you and say that you're going to be the greatest guy I ever met, but you're like one of the few people that I grew up watching, and kind of like everybody kind of thought, wow, I want to be like Sylvester Stallone, but they didn't know what it took for you to get there. I don't even know what it took for you to get there. So I don't know you. I know that it had to be hard. And I know the one thing that you probably have over everybody else, you have heart. And that's what all movie stars have, is heart. If you're going to bring something to the screen, bring your heart. Bring something real with yourself. Put it out there like you mean it. Sometimes it's not about how much money you have, it's how much you can convince somebody that you do have something. Everybody's got dreams. My dream was to be in a movie like Jaws. Jaws, Jaws. Because when I was a kid, it was so scary, it was fascinating. Because I loved to hunt and fish so much, it was just like, okay, we're going to have a battle and somebody's got to come out on top. But when we have battles in life, that's what life's all about. It's facing battles. And when things are scary, we go out and we face them. When things are wrong, we go out and face them. We do the very best we can. That's what heroes are made out of. And courage is made out of. Any day, as we think about our Bible every day and we think about what Jesus says, there is no new man, there is no old man. There's just the time that we have now. And what are we doing in society? Elon Musk, can you bring peace? Can you show people that there is a better way? Can all of us stop this crazy shit? I would like to see something different in our country, but I'm just one person. The reason I don't care if you subscribe or not is because if you just listen, maybe you'll learn something. See, people spend 23 hours a day locked up in a cell because they shot somebody and killed them. Or somebody was crazy and they were on drugs and they thought it was cool and they threw their life away. All they have is time to think about their life and how sad it is. People think that's okay. I don't. I think we need big prison reforms. I think a life sentence should be 20 years of hard manual labor. 5 to 10 years if you're lucky to even live. On the lower sentences, but it's hard labor. You sign your rights away. Because you need to work so hard that when you come out of there you say, I don't ever want to go back. I don't ever want to do this ever again. I don't ever want to hurt anybody. There are exceptions to all things. When we get lied upon, when we get told what to do, what's right and what's wrong, and we don't even know. Could be anybody. But I always come back to forgiveness in your heart. No matter how many times you sentence somebody to a life sentence, that's never going to ease your pain. It's never going to make your pain go away. It's never going to make the pain stop of what a person did or didn't do. The only person's got to live with that is you, and sometimes you got to let the other person go. Give them their freedom so that they can go out and whatever life they have, it's over. Everybody goes down and they give the parole hearing and saying, well, this person's out of parole, they were so bad. Wait a minute. If God can forgive murderers and thieves and rapists and people that have done wrong, shouldn't we? Am I any better than anyone else? No. But I try to always do what's right in the eyes of my Lord, my God. I think we all should as people. But when you do wrong, and you do really bad stuff to people, you should get the same kind of punishment. You know what's wrong with these kids? Oh, I got spanked. Really? Back when I grew up, way back in the old days when kids could be spanked, people got their little asses tuned up. They didn't do this kind of shit. Because they knew if they did it, there was going to be consequences. Now kids don't have consequences. They say, well, I'll do this and I'll do that. They never had to grow up with real consequences, real responsibility. The only way you make somebody be responsible is to trust them. But when they screw up, and you know that they're going to screw up, you can tell, hey, listen, you screwed up, learn from it. Because if you never make a mistake in life, you never learn nothing in life. I'll say it again, if you never make a mistake in life, you never learn nothing in life. And our whole Bible's all about forgiveness and love and challenges and mistakes that people have made. God never quit loving all of us, but He's disappointed with all of us, even me. I'm not a prophet of God. I'm not nobody special. I'm Jesse Aakre. I'm a guy putting out this video because I feel like sometimes, man, people need to think about what the hell they're doing because they need to do the right thing. Does anybody really know what the right thing is? It's bullshit if you tell me that you do, because not everybody knows all the time. Just be honest. Say, hey man, I screwed up. Tim Shaney. A lot of people don't like you, but I think that you might be alright. But I'd like to see some housing. I'd like to see things be made priorities in this country, and I think you're doing great, Donald Trump. But everybody says, oh, we're going to get this from Social Security, or we're going to get that from Social Security. Congress has got to quit fighting Donald Trump, and they got to make a big announcement, so big that everybody knows that they're going to get something on Social Security to help them. It's only fair. Because if you can't afford to feed yourself, and you ain't got nothing left to lose, what do you do then? Somebody tries starving me and see what happens. I'm willing to pick up a rifle and fight because I don't want to die of starvation. People have never had to live by a rifle or live to go hungry. And all the people that have been in combat zones that have done shit with rifles all their life, they know what that's all about. I want you thinking about having a good Christian day. Think about what you really want to be in this world. Think about what our justice system is doing. If it's not doing right, then we all need to say it's not doing right. Don't listen to me because you think I'm right or wrong. Listen to me because what I have to say is years of wisdom. Alright, I'm out. It was nice to see you all today. See you on another day.